Let's talk about the gem of a human being that is Matthew Bradley. So I made a video about Matthew Bradley yesterday. If you missed that video but you want to watch it, you can go to the comment. Matthew Bradley was most recently arrested for battery against his girlfriend's baby, but that's not the only time that he has injured a child. This is actually a pattern for Matthew Bradley. In 2016, Matthew Bradley's wife at the time, Candace Bradley, called police because she was pregnant with an 8-year-old in the home, and Matthew Bradley started a fight with her. On December 11th, 2016, Candace Bradley called police to say that her husband had physically assaulted her during the midst of a fight. When police got to the home, their oldest son, who was 8 years old at the time, was standing in the yard in the rain in December. The young boy told police that his mom and dad had been in a fight and that his dad had pulled his mom's hair, hit her, and kicked her. The mom, Candace, came out from the neighbor's house that she was, I guess, hiding at, and she said she was pregnant and Matt had beat her up. She did have marks on her arms and a lot of her hair was coming out, according to the police report. Police did have a chance to speak with Matthew Bradley inside the home, and Matthew Bradley said that he was upset because he thought that his wife was cheating on him and he thought that he caught her. Matthew said that thinking that he caught her cheating on him set him off, and that's the reason why he physically abused her. It caused him to physically abuse her. Matthew told police that because he thought that he caught his wife cheating, that's what set him off, and him being set off is what caused him to abuse her. So it's not actually, his fault or anything. Matthew was charged with third-degree battery in that incident. He was transported to the Conway County Detention Center. The next day, on December 12th, while Matthew Bradley was still in the Conway County Detention Center, the charge was upgraded from a misdemeanor to a felony because his wife was pregnant at the time that he assaulted her. So police went and talked to Matthew Bradley again in the detention center. After he was read his Miranda rights, he told police that he found a message on his wife's phone that he didn't approve of, and that upset him. So he confronted her about the message. He got upset with her because of her reaction. And then during that altercation, he dragged her by her hair down the steps of the home and locked her outside. He did say he didn't hit her. He just dragged her by her hair and left her sitting on the ground outside. Then about a year and a half later, on May 23rd, 2018, there was another incident involving Matthew Bradley and one of his children. According to police, they got a call just before noon on May 22nd, 2018. The man that called police was named Wayne Shoemate, and Wayne is a brother of Matthew Bradley. Wayne Shoemate called the Conway County Sheriff's Office because he saw a video and photographs of injuries of one of Matthew Bradley's own children that were allegedly caused by Matthew Bradley. Matthew's wife, Candace, had taken these photos of her 3-year-old and sent them to her mother-in-law. Wayne Shoemate told police that the injuries happened on May 21st. Now, police did get copies of the photographs and the video and put it in the case file. They also asked him to write out a statement, which he did. Investigators went to the home of Matthew and Candace Bradley to check on the child. Now, you have to understand this was 2 days after the actual incident, but the child still had injuries. When police went to the home, Candace was at home, but Matthew was at work, so they were able to talk to Candace by herself. While police were in the home, they took photographs of the 3-year-old and they spoke to Candace, of course, about what happened. Now, Candace said that on the night of the 21st, around 7:30 that night, Matthew Bradley hit the child in the face. Candace Bradley told police that she believed that Matthew Bradley had told the child to go do something and the child said no. So Matthew Bradley hit the kid in the face and then said, "You aren't going to talk to me like that." Now, I know people are probably going to ask, why didn't Candace call police herself? Why, instead of calling police, did she take photographs and a video and send them to her mother-in-law? Why were police not contacted until 2 days later? Police asked Candace Bradley herself why she didn't contact police, and she said because they had had domestic incidents in the past and they didn't resolve or whatever in a favorable way, and she and her children just didn't have anywhere else to go. Of course, police pulled Matthew Bradley down to the Conway County Sheriff's Office for a little chat, And during the interview, they, ask him about what happened. Of course, Matthew Bradley told police that his son was bad mouthing him and he was trying to quote unquote let it go. He said he usually lets his wife, Candace, deal with disciplinary issues, but he said that his son, he said F you. So I don't know if the kid said actually F you or if the kid said the words, but he was trying to talk to his kid and his kid said F you, his 3-year-old. And this is a direct quote from the police report. It says, "Before I caught myself, I slapped him in the face. After I did it, I knew I shouldn't have did it." When he was asked how hard it was that he struck his child, he said that he hit him hard enough that he hit the ground. And you might think that the kid was like standing up and it just knocked him down. No, they were in a bedroom and the kid was on the bed. He hit his 3-year-old hard enough to knock his child completely off the bed into the floor. I mean, he did tell police that he had anger issues and he let things bottle up and he knew he shouldn't have done it. So that should count for something, right? I mean, at least he admitted he had anger issues, never mind the fact that he knocked the crap out of a 3-year-old. At that time, Matthew Bradley was arrested and charged with second-degree battery, which is the same charge that he got against his girlfriend's son last week. The man is so abusive that at one point between this last incident in 2018 and this newest incident in 2024, he had a girlfriend, a different girlfriend than either one that I've mentioned before. And that girlfriend had a child from a previous marriage or relationship. And the father of that child went and filed a court order trying to get custody of that child in order to keep the child away from Matthew Bradley because of his prior domestic violence incidents. And the court actually ruled that the child could not be around Matthew Bradley. I honestly don't know how the man isn't in prison right now, and I don't know that he will go to prison from this incident, but I do think that Arkansas should take domestic violence incidents more seriously. I think that domestic violence leads to murders. Something like 50%, I think, is the figure that I heard today on the podcast that I was listening to. So 50% ish of female murders actually are a result of intimate partner violence. And women aren't the only ones that can be victims of domestic violence. Men can be victims of domestic violence as well. I think the figure is closer to like 20% for men. But the point is still the same, that domestic violence, fixing that, heavier sentencing on that, taking that more seriously would help the rate of homicides. But this video isn't about any of that. This video is about Matthew Bradley. And the fact is that women in the Faulkner County, Conway County areas should know about Matthew Bradley. If you get in a relationship with Matthew Bradley, chances are he will harm you. Chances are very high that he will harm your child because he's a coward and he likes to attack people that are miniature, people that can't fight back. I mean, to be honest, I don't see any signs that he has a temper towards any man. It's just women and children, people that he thinks are weaker than him, because I haven't seen anything that shows that he can't control his temper around men that can fight back. He seems to control his temper around men just fine. Unless I'm wrong, in which case, please correct me.